Ronnie Dale, four-wheeling at westernaustralia.com, and welcome to part 3 of buying a used four-wheel drive. You've done all your research from part 1, you've found a vehicle, you've checked it all out in part 2. Now it's time to get the best deal. And with these tips, they could possibly save you from being tricked by the car dealers.
Which card to play next?
Save you from being monkeyed around. And save you from embarrassment, and of course, save you a ton of dough. So stick your game face on and let's get into it. So here we go. The first tip is going to be the most important one, and that is the end goal. So to find out what the end goal is, you need to work out what the vehicle is worth that you're looking at buying. So say if the car yard or the private seller is asking for about $25,000, but you put it in one of those validation websites, which the insurance companies use as well. So keep this in mind. This is very, very important. This is the most important thing when it comes to buying a car. You're going to find out how much it's worth. They are asking $25,000. The vehicle is worth $21,000. There is $4,000 difference. Okay, you need to get the vehicle for $21,000. You do not want to be paying more than $21,000. Otherwise, you are being ripped off because the vehicle is not worth $25,000, it's worth $21,000. So you want $21,000 or less for that vehicle. The trade-in vehicle. Follow me closely here, because this is half of the rip-off that the car dealership will do to you. They'll put in their wizard hat and they will screw you over. The vehicle you want to buy is vehicle A. The vehicle that you own and you want to trade in to help purchase vehicle A is vehicle B. Before you even bring vehicle B into the equation, establish the price for vehicle A. So you find out what it's worth, like we already discussed in the tip previously. So you've got to a point where vehicle A price, you are happy with it. You're not getting ripped off. It's a fair price. Win-win, okay? Now you can bring vehicle B in. But you need to find out how much vehicle B is worth as well. And then use vehicle B to bring vehicle A down in price even further, so you can trade it in. That way, you're not getting screwed over twice, because these car dealerships, I guarantee you that they will make just as much off the trade-in vehicle as they will from the vehicle you are buying. So don't get screwed over there. In actual fact, I would highly recommend that you sell your vehicle privately, separately from the dealership, and you'll be more likely to get the price that you actually want to get for your vehicle. It's a lot easier to get the price then. And then the car dealership has got less cards to play when it comes to dealing. My next tip, do not, whatever you do, get emotionally attached to the vehicle that you're looking at purchasing. You have to be prepared to walk away if you don't get the price that you're after. You don't want to be paying more than what it's worth. So don't get emotionally attached, and if you do, do not show that you are emotionally attached, because they will prey on you. A car dealer, that's their job. Their job is to sell vehicles. They are professional at it. They are really good at what they do, and that is screwing people over. So be careful. Onto the finance trap. There are 2 traps, in fact. The first one, not many people think about. You are discussing the price of the vehicle. Say the vehicle is $25,000 and you've got the guy down to $24,000. But you're still trying hard to get him down. Then all of a sudden he starts talking about how much can you afford to pay per week? And he's referring to finance. So financially wise, can you afford to pay $150 per week, $120 per week? Do not get into this type of conversation, because what he is trying to do right now is take your mind off the overall price, and he's trying to see if you can afford to pay X amount per week. And a lot of people will go, you know what, yeah, I could afford to pay $120 a week. That's not too bad. You're screwed. You're screwed already. Do not get into that conversation. Deviate from it. you want to talk about the overall price of the vehicle. I don't care about how much it's going to cost me a week. I don't want to pay more than this for that vehicle. That's what needs to be said. So here's the second trap, and that is the finance itself. Now, the car yard will use the finance so they can sell anyone a car. And the rates you get are, well, can be appalling. I'll give you a quick example. When my wife was my girlfriend back in the day, a long time ago, she purchased a vehicle and she got finance on the vehicle, but they failed to tell her how much it was. It was all smoke and mirrors. It was all bullshit, BS stuff, okay? So she signed the papers, got the vehicle, and then she discovered how much she was paying. So I asked if I could see the papers. She was paying 29.99% interest on the vehicle. That's pretty much 30% interest. That is a disgustingly high rate, so don't fall for that trap. I in fact used my credit card to pay the vehicle off so she wasn't going to continuously get ripped off. My credit card rate of 12% was way better than the 30%. So had she continued on that plan, which a lot of people out there are doing, they're getting ripped off. They're paying twice what the vehicle's worth. Finance company makes a buttload of money, and so does the car dealership. He gets a cut of the finance. So keep that in mind. They will use it to sell you or anyone a vehicle. Some more car dealership negotiating tactics. And the number one tactic that I used to use for every single time I bought a vehicle, new or used, was the walk away tactic. And it almost always worked for me. I almost always got my way. And if it didn't work out, well, I just didn't walk back, obviously. But the way the walk away tactic works is you've used up a lot of his time, he's used up a lot of your time, you've been negotiating, you haven't quite got to where you want it to be, you're only a couple of thousand away or maybe even more. That's when you say, look, this is my final offer and I'm now going to walk away. Okay, that's all I can do, I'm now going to walk away. And then he's going to say, well, I can't do any better. When you go, all right, sorry for your time, see you later. Whoop, hold up. I reckon we might be able to work on that deal. That's my favourite move. Sleeping on the deal, just like she's doing right now. Sleeping on the deal. So in other words, you go in, you negotiate, you hear what they have to offer, so forth, etc. At the end, still don't sign the papers, say I'm going to go and sleep on it. Unless of course you got the deal that you really wanted. Most of the time you're going to be pretty close to where you want to be. Go home and sleep on it. 9 times out of 10, as you're walking out to go home to sleep on it, they will throw a last pitch at you. And that might just get you over the line to what you want. Or you can be cheeky like I still say, no, I'll still sleep on it. Another good one, and another very important one, is the deal you've just made on the vehicle is going to be pending your finance, not their finance. Make sure you put it pending finance of my choice or finance of buyer's choice. And of course, also, if you want to do it, pending mechanical inspection or results of mechanical inspection. That is another major one as well. So as you've seen in part 2, you went through the whole vehicle to the best of your ability. Now, if this is a vehicle that's worth X amount of dollars and it's quite up there, then it is probably worth you paying the couple of $100 to take it to a mechanic of your choice, not the dealer's choice. I've made that mistake before. Your choice, the mechanic of your choice. Take it there, get the full safety and everything inspection done to it. It's going to cost you a couple of $100, but this is a vehicle you are seriously looking at buying. Okay, you could save yourself a lot of trouble. And then, pending the result, you may have more ammunition to get the price down, or you may have more knowledge when it comes to your warranty, which is another tip on its own. On to the situation that I got myself in when I went to check a car at a mechanic. I chose the one just around the corner because I didn't know the area too well. I didn't know any mechanics around there. I was a lot younger, and of course I thought I knew everything. No one knows everything, period. So my sister wants to buy a vehicle, and I went with her, did all the negotiating and all that stuff. We took it to a mechanic around the corner, which was their mechanic. I had no idea of it. And basically he said their car was Mickey Mouse. It was a specific vehicle that had trouble with the cooling system in it, because I'd owned a few of those in the past. So I got that tested and it was all good. Halfway home, and to tell you in short, I was very embarrassed. My sister had just bought a vehicle that just overheated on the way home. So take it to your mechanic of choice. Warranty issues. Now be careful with the vehicle used car warranties they're trying to sell you with the vehicle you're going to buy. To give you a quick example, my nephew just recently bought a 76 series Land Cruiser. Now he had a massive advantage that most people won't have. He used to work for Toyota in the servicing department, so he knows the vehicle inside out, and he also knows what usually goes on them, what usually goes wrong with them. So he had a quick look at the warranty, and all the things that it was covering don't usually go wrong with the vehicle. It even had electrics, a lot of stuff with electrics. A 76 series or a 70 series in general, or a car that's quite old, has bugger all electrics to worry about. If it's got windows and stuff, that's pretty cheap to fix on your own. So he went back and said, I don't want your warranty because all the things that it covers won't go wrong in this vehicle and aren't even on this vehicle. And the issues that can go wrong on the vehicle aren't covered, like your alternator and things like that. So be very careful with those used car warranties. Half the time they're worth nothing. And the other trap, which Chris told me about when we did part 2, that was when people actually have a used car warranty and something goes wrong with the vehicle. If they don't service it within that amount of time, 3 monthly schedules or the kilometre schedule, if they don't service it in that time, they're not covered. Don't fear, I haven't forgotten about dealing with the public people, private sales. So a lot of overland vehicles or previously four-wheel drive vehicles with a lot of gear on them are sold from private sellers. Now you can use the same pretty much tactics, but what you have to keep in mind is a lot of people, they will gear their car with all kinds of gear, like I have on my Land Cruiser behind me here. But the fact of the matter is, all that gear that's on the vehicle is only going to make the vehicle easier to sell. You're not going to get much more for it, it's just going to make it easier to sell. But a lot of people don't see that when they're trying to sell their car. So when you go to look at these vehicles and negotiate price with them, they're going to be far higher. They're going to have higher expectations.
Attention, please.
So welcome back to the office. We are here because I forgot to mention a couple of tips, and I think they are important enough to put back in. So I was halfway through editing, and here we are. Here's Jeffy. Actually, I feel like a bit of like a newsreader because I'm in my PJs down below and all you can see is the top. Alright, so here we go. You are the boss. Do not lose sight of that. Keep it in your mind. It's your money, you decide what happens. Don't let the car dealer decide what happens, you decide what happens. You are the boss. Make sure you remember that.
1, 2, 3.
The missus tactic, or the third person you could call it. So basically you're at a car yard and what you're trying to achieve is a common goal with the car dealer, and that is getting you the vehicle. So the idea here is you don't have your missus with you, and most people, and the reason why I say missus is because most people can relate to their missus or their spouse as the financial advisor of the premises, of the house, okay? So a lot of people are ruled by their wives when it comes to money. And that is an excellent one to use because if you are negotiating with a car yard dealer and you're trying to get that price, you can fall back and say, that is the most I can spend because my missus will not let me spend any more. You can use the old excuse, she's going to kill me if I spend more than the budget. She has control on the budget. There are so many other excuses. So use that. Sometimes this will work because now you and the car yard dealer have a common goal, and that is to get that vehicle in your hands. Bring backup. So if you're quite young and you've never bought a vehicle before, don't do it on your own. Bring your dad or your brother, or bring someone who has experience with buying cars in the past, an uncle, whatever. If you know someone who can help you, bring them along. Let them help negotiate your price. Finally, before I get to the wrapping up stage of this video, I just want to apologise to my car yard mates. Yeah, I'll buy you a beer and make up for this, because you're probably not going to like me too much after this installment. I hope you find this video quite useful, and I hope it saves you a lot of money and a lot of trouble. That is the main reason for this video. So there's a lot of information there, a lot of stuff to digest. So what I've done in part 1, 2 and 3, which you're watching right now, I have down below in the description timestamped every single tip. So if you think, oh, what was that tip again? Well, you can just go back, click in the description and hop straight to that tip again. So use it, take it with you to car dealership, prepare yourself, arm yourself before you walk in there, and you should get a better price than you would have without knowing much at all. So if you have any more tips, which there'll be a lot of, put them down below in the comments. I'd like to hear from you, and you could also help out a lot of the other people watching this video. So thank you very much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up, because a lot of effort and research went into these videos, because not everything was from my experience. I have done a lot of research in this topic as well. So you can subscribe right here, and you can support the creation of more content up here at patreon.com/Ronnie Dahl. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video.